Ladies and gentlemen, two girls, two boys, a phenomenon in pop music. ABBA.
Hello everyone and welcome to my festive fireside. Just popping back really for a little mini episode. I just wanted to say thank you really to everyone who's listened this year. It really means the world to know that you're listening and to hear your feedback and to read the comments that you send me. It's been a heck of a year, this first year of the podcast. We've had downloads in, I think it's 92 countries. We featured in the Radio Times and we've been interviewed, I've been interviewed on BBC Radio about the podcast. So yeah, just a big thank you really to everyone for listening. A big thank you as well, of course, to all of my guests for giving up their time throughout the year. There's definitely more to come in 2025. We've only done 2 ABBA albums. There's plenty more to go. So do watch this space. As I say, just popping back and sort of by way of a present, really. I don't know if you want this present, but you're going to get it anyway. I've just come up with a little festive TV and radio guide for all things ABBA. Quick caveat, obviously this is mainly for UK listeners because a lot of them you won't be able to listen kind of internationally, but some definitely will be available internationally. Or I didn't say this, but if you want to use a VPN, that's fine as well to pretend you're in the UK. You'll see I've put a few links to a few of these things in the show notes. And remember, if you hear Happy New Year by ABBA in the next week or so, remember you can hear all about the backstory of the song in our Me and I and Happy New Year episode from January this year. So there are 4 kind of sections to this festive ABBA guide. There's basically like 4 channels I'm going to talk about. One is YouTube, the second one is the BBC, the third one is Channel 5, and the fourth is Sky Arts in the UK. So I've just got some YouTube festive ABBA highlights. The first one I'm going to mention is the Little Things official video. Of course, it's ABBA's only proper Christmas song off the Voyage album. So yeah, there's a great little video on there involving sort of kids sort of almost doing like a craft workshop and dressing up as ABBA, and then towards the end of the video they sort of put on their own little sort of Voyage style concert, so that's quite fun. So there's that video, there's the lyric video as well for Little Things. I've also put a link to the Mike Yarwood Christmas Show 1978. So if you're of a certain age, you'll know that Mike Yarwood was a staple around Christmas time on the BBC. Some kind soul on YouTube has edited out all the other stuff. So we've just got 2 performances and a little sort of generation game style spoof sketch. They're performing If It Wasn't for the Nights and Thank You for the Music. And if you watch it, you might hear something familiar because you'll hear that I've taken the introduction that Mike Yarwood gives to them, and that's the bit that you hear at the start of every episode of the podcast. The 2 boys, 2 girls, a phenomenon in music, ABBA. And the last link I'm going to talk about, which is YouTube, is an ABBA Christmas sketch from Saturday Night Live last year. I think if you are a completist about all ABBA things, you probably will have watched it anyway. You might want to watch it, but I'll be perfectly honest, it's not very funny in my opinion, but I'm including it just because it's ABBA and it's Christmas and, you know, it's there. I don't want to prejudice your views about it, but yeah, have a watch of that and let me know what you think of it. So the next kind of section of this is about the BBC. So there's lots of ABBA content to enjoy on the BBC. So first of all, iPlayer. So there is an episode of Top of the Pops, which is from the 23rd of December 1982. It features the last ever public performance by ABBA as an active group. They did Under Attack. Now, although that performance was shown on Top of the Pops, it had actually been recorded a few weeks earlier on Saturday the 11th of December and was recorded in Stockholm and broadcast in the UK on the Late Late Breakfast Show with Noel Edmonds. So there you go, another Christmas link there. There are also 2 documentaries from this year, 2024, on the iPlayer 2. Both of them are were made to coincide with the 50th anniversary of ABBA winning Eurovision. Those 2 documentaries are ABBA Against the Odds and When ABBA Came to Britain. Now, staying on a Eurovision note, there's also Hannah Waddingham's Eurovision 1974 celebration, and ABBA also feature in the TOTP2 Eurovision special. And finally on iPlayer, there's ABBA at the BBC, which is a compilation of various appearances across the BBC over the years, including Top of the Pops. There's a 1975 Seaside special and the 1979 special ABBA in Switzerland. So that's the iPlayer. Staying with the BBC, there's also lots of ABBA things on BBC Sounds and BBC Radio over the festive period. If you go onto BBC Sounds, you'll see there's something called Eras, which is a 5-part documentary series hosted by Sarah Cox that kind of basically goes through the history of ABBA from their origins all the way up to Voyage. And in the last episode, they actually interview some of the producers of the Voyage show. So there's that. There's an episode of Archive on 4 called ABBA Inside the Music that explores ABBA's songwriting, craft, and again is supposed to coincide with the 50th anniversary of the Eurovision win. And Archive on 4, if you're into real-time radio, that's actually being repeated on live radio, BBC Radio 4, on Tuesday the 24th of December at 12:04 p.m, according to the Radio Times. The last thing for BBC Sounds is there are 2 ABBA-related episodes of the series Arts and Ideas. One of the episodes reflects on the Eurovision anniversary from early this year, and the other episode is actually from a few years ago, 2018, which looks at Sweden's impact on Britain. Now, the next broadcaster I'm going to talk about is Channel 5 here in the UK. There's a show called ABBA's 30 Greatest Moments, which is being broadcast twice over the festive period. That's 5:20 on Christmas Day and 9 p.m. on New Year's Eve on the Channel 5 Select. If you go on to the Channel 5's catch-up service, My5, there's 3 ABBA-related programmes to watch there. They are ABBA The Missing 40 Years, All-Time Favourite ABBA Songs, and Greatest ABBA Cover Versions Ever. I think we'll be the judge of that. And the last section, the last broadcaster to mention is Sky Arts, which is available on Freeview in the UK. ABBA the Movie features heavily in their listings this year. Pretty fitting, as of course the movie premiered in December 1977. It was the 15th of December in Australia and the 26th of December in Sweden. So ABBA the Movie, I'm not saying they haven't got much else on, because they have got quite a lot on, but they are showing it 4 times over the festive break. So that's Sky Arts, that's Christmas Day, 1:15 p.m, Saturday the 28th of December, 3:25 p.m, Sunday the 29th of December, 12 noon, and Monday the 30th of December at 9:10 p.m. So that's 3 consecutive days, so if you've really got nothing else to do, you can watch ABBA the Movie once a day in 3 consecutive days. So I will leave that one up to you. So that's it from your little ABBA festive guide. If you've got any more or I've missed something, then obviously, get in touch, let me know. Email address is exactly the same. It's likeamagic_spell@gmail.com, or send me a message on Instagram. We are at likeamagicspell. And that's it really for this first year of the podcast. Thank you again. I will be back with news of season 3 very soon, hopefully. And I hope you have a very peaceful festive break. And Happy New Year from me.